All right, so we are going to go ahead and start this game going. So, for those of you who are tuning in, this is yet another 5v5 scrim. I think this is, I believe, our third. And I think Meg's heard me on stream say, oh yeah, we're just going to give priority to 5v5 games instead of just casting, some of the more a little less serious in-houses. I think the 5v5s are a little more fun to cast personally because you see generally a higher
They're
degree of coordination. But then
mm.
Megs was like, yeah, I've
the,
got a
the the
team.
issue with the non-coordinated ones is that the action tends to happen all at the same time in
Yeah,
like these
everywhere.
crazy
Yeah,
spurts that you never see coming, and
yeah,
suddenly you're trying to look at three things at once.
yeah,
Whereas on a coordinated team, the game has a little bit more natural, even flow.
yeah. Lots of dragon fights, team fights, things of that nature.
Wow,
So
just
we see a
tearing through
Poppy
the
Ben.
bands.
We see a Poppy Ben. Lisa and Shaco Udyr maybe not so targeted, but very clearly Poppy directed at the legend Lockjoy. I think.
He
Don't
is the
tell
legend
anyone.
Poppy.
They don't know about his fizz. Shh.
What? Wait, he has a fizz?
He is
He
similarly
might be
good at
my new
fizz.
favorite top lane. Just say it, Treve.
I think he
Got some
loves
work to do.
those assassins. I would love to see Legend Bok Choy go against Shreve. Shreve just private messaged me after that last game when I said Poppy's very hard to counter. She was like, I stomp Poppies all day with my Rumble. So it looks like we might
Oh,
see
she.
a little bit of
Well,
a little
Rumble
bit of
would be
a
good.
yeah, a little bit of a grudge match. But of course, Rumble does have that DOT on Q, does have that uh, shield to kind of reduce a little bit of the damage of his Q, and does of
And
course
run
have the
away.
DOT on the ult and can run away. He is a very speedy top laner.
Hmm.
Not I think not as big of a move speed steroid as Poppy's W.
No,
And
but
I
the
think a
cost of
mistake
thing.
I think a mistake a lot of people play, which makes Poppy so strong, is no one picks up Ghost.
Hmm.
No one ever picks up Ghost. No AD carries run Ghost. You know?
Yeah, I've been watching these Reddit in-houses. Like one of the biggest things I've been noticing is the escape power of Ghost. If you already have a flash built in,
Mm-hmm.
grab Ghost.
Yep.
You'll flash out and you'll be so fast.
Yep.
They'll
I
have no
think
chance of catching you.
yeah. Flash is kind of preferred because it's like instant ground is covered.
Hmm.
Um,
It also
so
allows you to put things in between you and your
yeah,
opponents, like
yeah. So
say
a
trees.
wall. Yep.
Mm.
So, but I don't know. 80 carries. That Vayne last game had her 90 caliber net, and it didn't do anything. Flash and 90 caliber net is like nothing to Poppy because she will just chase you down. Um, so anyway, we do see 3 smites on purple team right now. Can't tell if trolling or if breaking the meta. We do see price support
So,
Alistair being picked up by Megs
top
and
solo top Eve, real
so top
strong.
Eve NP. Like I said, he loves those assassins, and Eve is a tier 9 assassin, but an assassin nonetheless.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think Heimerdinger makes for better assassin than Eve.
Hmm. Oh, you were right. Looks like it's gonna be Fizz. So Fizz versus Olaf in the top lane.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be interesting to watch.
Oh, Rumble? Rumble?
Ooh. Um, interesting. Very interesting.
Wow. That was a fast Victor pick.
Insta lock,
He,
baby.
yeah, man. He knew what he wanted.
Yep, indeed he did.
All right, so
Oops.
I think I have
I hate
some
that, by the way, when
deets.
I shut a chat window the second I get it.
Yeah, and it just
It's
pops
like
right
you
back
click
up.
no, you don't even read it. Like you
Oh,
click X and as it goes bleep and then it's lost.
yep.
Blown into eternity. Like
I'm
the
pretty sure we lost.
sands of
That
time.
there's at least one team that like I'll be able to figure out who it is because of where I put somebody on my friends list,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to be process of elimination. There's a
Yeah.
team out there who gave me all their info that it's
You
just
accidentally
gone
clicked
because of that.
X.
This client, man, it's all about trolling people trying to get things done.
Yep. So purple team just trying to troll us a little bit. Uh, oh, we are gonna see our left top. Wow.
Hmm?
There we go. There's a switch. I was like, are these guys for real? Are they gonna do like a level 1 dragon with that Blood Boil Vein and Mundo? We did see a level 1 dragon at OGN Korean
Hmm.
tournament. That was, I believe, a week ago. It was Jana, Shyvana, and Mundo.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't know. I think can't remember who was the jungler. It was either Shyvana was definitely there.
Hmm.
Um, it might have been Graves, Jana, Shyvana. That sounds a
Yeah, I
little bit
know.
more.
I know it was a Janna because
Yeah,
I
because she
remember
took the blue.
using the shield.
And she took the blue by accident. She accidentally
No,
stole.
I don't think that was by accident. I think that was for shield.
Hmm, I don't know.
They needed to get as much shield on the person as possible because they finished with very low health or something.
Interesting.
Because it seemed like completely calculated. Like
Really?
the numbers of health that
If
they ended up with at the end of it were
yeah,
like I
one.
like the jungler had to immediately back, but everybody else
But they actually
was
baited out the
perfect.
first blood. Sona flashed in for the Q. They pop summoner heal and then turn it around.
Mm,
Anyway, we do see Mundo jungle in this game going off against Shyvana. Both of them picking up exhaust mine. Both of them, of course, being very fast, clear time junglers. Mundo, I think, maybe clears a little bit faster than
mm,
Shyvana in the small camps, but Shyvana is able to take down large creeps. I think a lot faster because she does have those Wriggles products. Mundo, of course, with his Q, not which deals percent max damage, not so slow. However, I think Shyvana with her twin bite Wriggles products just a little bit faster. We do see
mm.
Olaf going up top against the legend of Bok Choy. Done a very consistent job winning top lane. This time around, we were seeing Rumble. We did see Rumble being played in an earlier in house. I think that was a lower level in house, and maybe someone who wasn't so familiar with how to play Rumble. But I think they actually did end up winning that game, which was interesting to watch. One of the bigger comebacks we've seen. He went from like 0-7 in lane to just actually ending up winning. Anyway, we do see a Nunu Vayne bot that is going to deal a ton of damage, kind of just with those Vayne auto attacks and the Blood Boil, and going to be
Oh
very,
God,
very,
it's
very
so
scary
brutal.
in team fights. However, Nunu not running any sort of summoners other than exhaust and clairvoyance. Sort of interesting to see. No flash. So if he gets caught and he can't blood boil away, that is going to be a lot of trouble for him. However, that blood boil pretty much equal to like a little mini ghost. It is very, very
I
fast.
find it interesting that I can't pronounce that name. I'm gonna call him iGod. iGod is like the insta lock. Victor makes me think that he has played the Victor Rise matchup a fair amount. Like this might be his go-to champ for playing against Rise and lane. So
Maybe.
expect. I'm gonna try and
Well,
keep an eye on his
Rise
lane.
does push very hard. Sorry, Rise gets out pushed very hard, and Victor
Mm.
is actually very good at pushing with that E.
And he's got
And
that bug D right now, so you have no idea how to dodge that thing.
yeah, good job, Ryan. um, Milkcast channel not so alive today, although people are using the IRC to send me a couple messages here and there, which is nice.
That's
It
cool.
is definitely probably the best way to get in touch with me.
Hmm.
Um, So just gonna wait for my law client. There we go. So we are gonna go ahead and get this game going now. Let's see. So once again, it is Graves Alistair versus Nunu Vayne. Graves
Hmm.
Alistair, of course, has that burst damage with the headbutt pulverized combo off of Alistair. Graves able to EQ and get a ton of damage down onto either the Nunu or the Vayne. Nunu quite a lot of sustain with his Q, although it does sort of he has to push the wave to actually use it.
Hmm.
But he doesn't have summoner heal, so if he gets in trouble, it could be bad. Uh, we do see two melee supports. Both Alistair and Nunu are melee. Nunu can get a decent amount of poke down with his Blood Boil. However, I think, with his Ice Blast. However, Blood Boil generally maxed first for the AS. That way, a Vayne, especially if Vayne picks up a little bit of lifesteal, a couple Durans and maybe three Durans and Xerxes or something like that, or
Hmm.
two Durans and the Vamp Scepter, something like that, then the Blood Boil goes down and she will just win any auto attack trade. And Vayne is just all about auto attack trades. She has her
Hmm.
Q, which is technically an auto attack modifier,
Hmm.
and she has her E,
Ha
which
ha
is
ha ha
a
ha
tumble.
ha 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 ha
Yes!
ha ha ha.
But
Look at Nunu. Come on, Nunu. Keep doing it.
what's he doing?
Come on, Nunu.
What's he doing?
Come on, Nunu.
Welcome to
I'm confused.
Come on, Nunu. Nunu. He's not.
What do you
he's not
want from
laughing.
him?
He's not laughing.
Oh,
do
yes,
see-
the infamous Nunu bot laugh.
It is so good. It's the best thing in the game. Hopefully, 3 minutes
If
from
you
now.
haven't checked out those videos, definitely
Yeah.
take a look at some point.
I believe it is Angry Goran's Nunubot series. Actually, one of the first fan-inspired skins in the game. There's the laugh.
Oh God.
Ha.
Anyway, let's do some lineup introductions.
Hell no, I'm gonna listen to this Nunu. You can talk about that.
Alright, fine. For Team Super Cats, we have Megs playing the Graves. We have Riboflavin playing Alistar. Shyvana in the jungle is played by Bloodthirst. And then Sinisterang playing AP, or not even AP, Mage Mid Rise. And up top, the legend Bokchoy on Rumble.
And
For
he is
purple,
quite a legend, actually.
He's becoming a legend. The legend grows every game.
He's still a top legend.
Oh God. And then over on purple we have Mundo in the jungle, played by Wuiji. Memphis 13, playing that Olaf top lane. Pooksy Mage on support Nunu in bot lane. NS Retribution playing the Vayne in the same lane. Wow, that was hard. And then Viktor mid will be played by iGod, and that is all I'm going for on his name.
There we go. So we did also, by the way, while that was being read off, I don't think anyone was even paying attention. You know why? Because we got to hear the legendary Nunubot. When I first met you, I was the bot. Bad. Now I am the super bot. It does look like an early gank coming down from Shyvana. However, I think starting with that Pulverize not maybe as effective as starting with Headbutt. So Mundo, counter jungling as many Mundos do, did the red to blue route, and now looks like he might go gank top. Although he didn't start at his Wraiths, so he is not level 3 yet. A little bit of, I think, misplay there. You know, this could have. Oh, and Legend Boxer actually flashing away. Didn't realize that.
He was only level 1 still.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Wuiji, I guess. I didn't realize he was only level 2 without that infected cleaver. So usually you want to hit level 3 off of 2 big camps and a small camp, whether Golem's red-blue or Wraith's red-blue, generally either of them, or Wolves red-blue, by the way. But you won't hit level 3 if you don't take that small camp, and Mundo did not take the small camp. So Shyvana not actually understanding that her blue is gone. Oh, it's gone!
And Rise is
I always
so
hate that
sad
feeling.
right now.
I always hate that feeling. You know what I mean? It's a terrible feeling. It's like you're like,
it's like showing up to the party and finding out that it was yesterday.
Yeah. I actually did that once. It felt really bad. Anyway, Rumble does have his E. Lots of slow's gonna go down on Olaf. He doesn't have Flash. That is almost certainly gonna be first blood. There we go. Very nicely done.
While that was going on, I was watching Mundo accidentally take blue from Viktor. So sad.
Very unfortunate. Oh well. Viktor, I mean, to be honest, AP mids really don't need blue this early in the game. You know, you just don't you don't do enough damage with your spells to justify the amount of mana you spent harassing. And it's like blue buff's not going to do a whole lot. However, a little bit of a trade here. We do see Viktor getting his W in lane. A lot of Victors decide to just go EQ, 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 R, you know, just for that burst at level 6.
Oh, bot lane.
Bot lane, lots of damage going down onto both the Nunu and the Graves on next. And actually, this is very good play from Vayne. I think keeping the Megs alive, keeping the Poop's image alive. When is that headbutt gonna come up? Viktor going down very low, as is Mundo, I think probably from turret shots, and wow, both of them just getting
Rumble
so low on
in
health.
trouble.
Look at the health. Mundo, no health.
Olaf going low now too.
Look at the health on this game.
Oh my
Mundo,
God.
Olaf, Nunu, Vayne, Viktor, Rise died,
all of
Rumble
team
down.
is flashing right now.
It's a party. It's a little bit of a
party. It's a rave.
Yeah.
With those rave lights going.
We do see Olaf has gone back already. Rumble has not. Chugging those health pots. He does have a health pot going as well as 2 more available to him. Olaf bought 2 wards when he went back. Probably the smart thing to do there. He has no escapes. However, Legend of Bokchoy is level 5 already. Olaf actually already leveling up to 5. which is a little bit surprising. I think that's because there was a kill picked up in that lane. There's a little bit more XP than just what you would get from creeps. So he's a little bit ahead of the curve here. Some nice harass going down from both of them. Both of them, I think, landing their combos. And Graves going down bot.
Now.
Mundo ganking. There's the cleaver, but not even necessary because Vayne is able to get the final, the silver vault proc. This game around, by the way, we do see NS Retribution maxing E, which is super old school. Vayne on release had a lot more damage on her E, but it is still somewhere around like 500 damage at level 5 on that ability at level 9. But it's situational. It's all about getting that slam into a wall. If you don't get it, you only do half the damage. Shyvana going for a little bit of a counter jungle, but so is Mundo. Not quite able to land that cleaver to initiate the gank. And we do see that the Viktor will be hitting level 6 very, very soon. I think he's 2 creeps away. 1 creep, and if it's not this melee minion, it will be the next. Here we go. We might see a little bit of like a, a little bit of aggression. No, just instead gonna maybe doesn't feel confident to full to zero him as his ignite is down, and he does have a point in W, which reduces his damage somewhat. But Ryze, of course, not as strong as Viktor at level 6. Ryze is kind of more of a sustained damage dealer, and I think gets strongest around level 9. Viktor, Ryze's ulti is more of a steroid than actual damage. So Viktor, of course, with that ulti, one of the highest damage dealing ultis in the game. Mundo getting caught by 3. Ryze gonna head. Oh, and that's actually could be good for Viktor. Should have, I think, gone in there. Meg's only 47 MR. Oh, and this could be interesting. Shyvana decided to go in. Doesn't realize that Viktor is level 6. I think maybe a little bit of misplay there from Viktor, to be honest. He got a very, very nice W on this kind of ramp here, and was able to catch the level 4 Graves. Almost certainly would have gone down. Oh, Olaf going down very low to a Rumble ulti. Nice job from Legend of Bokcha. I was thinking, by the way, you know what the spectator mode needs?
What?
It's very nice. They have this this little ping system, or like right now you can see Mundo going very low to his red buff. On the right side of his screen, he starts flashing red, and I think if it's burst damage, you hear a little bling noise, right? What they need is a button you press to go to the champion who just made that kind of like ding noise. Because right now you have to hit QWER and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
If you could just hit like space.
Yeah. Because that's the way it is in Dota, actually. There's a ping tool, and if you hit space, it goes to the last area that's pinged. A nice headbutt, a nice exhaust. There's the ulti from Shyvana. Tons of damage going down on an NS Retribution, and this could be a dive. Nunu almost certainly going to go down. 1 Alistair headbutt away. There it is. Meg's not picking up the kill, but is able to pick up around 100 gold off of that assist. So nicely done there. Ryze did go back for his... What?
What does Ryze have?
That is not going to be a Chalice. That is probably going to be a Merc Trez and a Meki Panda. I don't know about that.
No, it's gonna be a late tier.
It's going to be a late tier, but I don't know about that decision to pick up a No Magic Mantle.
Yeah, I didn't.
He had enough gold for a Tear the Goddess.
And he was doing a really good job dodging
Victory.
Victor's, what's it called? His Death Ray. Wow. It was a sinister ability.
But by the way,
Viktor picking up the augment for that Death Ray, so it'll be doing even more damage once you get back in the lane.
I'd like to point out, Rumble, if you remember Rumble on release, people said he was a little bit weak. And I think a lot of that is because people just didn't understand how to play him effectively. Once people learned, he got nerfed so hard. He was, I think, probably the best champ in the game who just picked up like 5 revolvers.
5 revolvers.
I don't know if you ever saw people doing that, but you'd pretty much turn on Q, you'd stay at full health, the enemy would take damage.
I don't know what Riot thinks a lot of these times. I remember the old Vlad builds, which were literally 5 Heart of Gold and boots.
Yeah. And also Poppy would pick up like 3 or 4 Philowstones. You saw Double Lift playing a lot of Poppy at Season 1 finals at DreamHack. And that his build was just like stack a couple Philowstones. Anyway, down bot, we do see a lot of damage going down on it. Alistair going to spry with just 20 health, and the flash from NSR Retribution. Oh, taken down very nicely from Megs. The Ice Blast goes out, so it's going to kind of stop that chase. However, we do see Megs does not decide to commit with flash. I think maybe could have gone for the kill there if she had flashed in with that Q. Does take Nunu down quite low. Lots of damage going down onto Olaf. Legend of Bokcha able to turn that gank around. Very
Does he
well
still
played
have
from him.
ult?
And his
No,
he used it, and his ignite is up. So if he landed that E, that would have certainly been a kill on Mundo, whose ulti is down for another, I want to say 20 seconds. Shyvana
good
looking to
play
move
from
around behind
Team
Viktor.
Reddit.
Oh, and a nice stun, able to stop and actually putting down. I'd say that's about 30% of Bloodthirst's health, which is very nicely played from Viktor. Really knows the strengths of his champ. That Shyvana actually decided to go for Ninja Tabi, which is interesting. They do have Olaf, Vayne, and Mundo, who deal a significant amount of physical damage. However, I would be pretty afraid of Viktor right now. His burst is among the highest in the game, and what I was trying to say earlier about Rumble on the release, not really understood, and then later discovered to be very, very, very strong, and actually requiring a nerf. I don't know if you've ever played against a Viktor, who is very good. Hirshin
it is kind of a nightmare. I know.
Oh, and there's the ulti down. Speaking of it, Sinister being forced to flash away, and there is the kill.
Nice.
I got X Orlog. I got X Orlog able to flash in and pick up the kill there. I finally said his name. Maybe if I say it 3 times, he will appear behind me.
But we need him in game right now, so maybe try that later.
Okay. So I'll only say it twice. I got X Orlog.
Oh,
he's here!
Orlog?
No, he's not.
Oh shoot.
I looked in the mirror. I was quite afraid. Anyway,
you have
the
a mirror
point
right
is,
next to the theater?
yeah, I do. It's
plays
to
a lot,
stare at
doesn't it?
myself. Yeah. No, but actually, it is also interesting a comparison between Viktor and Rumble. When Rumble came out, everyone was like, "Oh, this ulti is so hard to use." They did actually change it a little bit by changing the way it works when you smart cast it, making it a little easier. However, it is interesting to note people say the same thing about Viktor's E now. So actually, a lot of similarities between those two champions, both in the fact that they were kind of underrated on release, combined with the fact that they have kind of clunky mechanics that are a little bit unique. But you can really see, you saw in that fight exactly how much damage I got X Orlog was able to put down. The Q does connect. A nice job, able to get that W down. Mundo there, able to help him pick up the kill. I think actually probably a good thing to deal with Mundo there, that Mundo was there. I think he dealt a significant amount of damage of that fight. You know, so maybe we would have seen I got X Orlog going down to Rise. Alistair's around, Rumble is around, a nice tempo combo, and there we go. There is the ulti, but from I got X Orlog, but it's not going to be enough because the ulti from Rumble was able to finish him off, and now Olaf is left to kind of just catch up top lane. He is quite behind right now, 3 deaths. Down only 9 CS, but those 2 deaths really do give about a 1k gold lead to Legend Bok Choy. And it looked like I thought we were gonna see maybe blue team go for the dragon if they were all around in there. 18 mid is up. However, it does look like purple team able to get it. However, now Mundo decided to run back over that that burnout, and a rage ulti from Nunu. Not really gonna do a whole lot. I think maybe had he started channeling it earlier when they decided to go in, could have been a bit better. However, there is a ton of hard CC available, both from that Shyvana and the Alistair. Nice hippo combo. Graves is not around.
This is a really good reason to pull out Dragon, by the way. Like, if you pull it out here, especially when you know they don't have a ward in the area because of the pink ward, it'll keep you a lot safer. They might have been able to avoid at least one of those deaths right there if they had.
Yeah. Yeah, Mundo was kind of standing in this kind of, you know, what is that? A channel, I guess? A choke channel? Anyway, and decided to, you know, kind of run towards the Shyvana burnout and took a lot of damage that way. Probably was going to die anyway, but, you know, had they pulled it out, he would have maybe been able, the 3 of them would have been able to run upwards towards the safety of their base a little bit easier. We do see Vayne probably going to rush a Bloodthirster without picking up any Dorant items. Usually you see Vayne, because she is kind of like so weak early, she wants to kind of offset that weakness with a couple Dorans. However, she does have the advantage of the Dragon Bolt. She does have 2 kills, only 58 CS to Graves' 74. However, I don't think you can really fault Vayne for that because Graves is just so strong. And I don't know what this Nunu is planning on doing. His ulti's down. Oh wow, and a nice condemn actually able to stop the headbutt. Meg's not really playing Graves to the fullest. Doesn't want to use the E to deal extra damage on the Q.
You're just gonna make her hate you more, dude.
Yeah, probably. I should just always be saying nice things about her. Anyway, for those who don't know, Graves does more damage on his buckshot, his Q ability. The closer you are, it's kind of modeled. He does use a shotgun, and I guess that is meant to be a shotgun-like move where the projectile kind of spreads out in a cone the further away from the champion they are. And you can see she's not really getting up close to the minions or the enemies, which does deal reduced damage. So a tip for those who play Graves. If you're going in for damage, it is often a good idea to try and use your E first to kind of maximize that first. And that
interesting.
That,
this Shyvana keeps picking up Blue's blue.
Blue's blue.
I
don't know. Rise actually not all that reliant on blue. Obviously, you can use the cooldown and the mana to stack that tier faster. And we do see Merc Treads picked up on Rise, by the way.
Olaf.
No
looks
catalyst.
like they want to dive, but he'll pop that ult and
that
get out.
ulti is just going to be very good for getting away from Rumble's. I like to call it the red carpet. Has a huge slow component, especially when he gets Rylized. It does look like they're going to back off. They understand that Viktor's up here. They walk over a ward. And Viktor's ulti right now, about 350 burst damage on that, plus 100 times 7, 700. That's 1,050 damage on Viktor's ulti in an AoE. But that does, of course, rely on them sitting in the ulti for about 7 seconds after it pops. However, don't underestimate Viktor's damage. It is probably the highest in terms of like a single spell combo. It's among the highest of any champion in the game right now. His general combo is like a Q, E, R, and another Q. So I would have maybe liked to see a little bit more hard CC coming off of Purple Team. Olaf and Mundo, both two picks that don't really have it. If they had maybe like a Galio pick and a Mumu pick, something with a big AoE CC, that Viktor ult would just be crazy. And I'm surprised we don't see more of those sort of, big AoE, Season 1 especially, and Mumu was considered god tier because of that CC. And these days we just really don't see him anymore, but there are so many champions being introduced to the game who really benefit from it. It used to be like Season 1, the AoE gods were like Annie.
Well, that was what happened. We saw WCG at the end of Season 1. It was just like CLG pops out like this composition that was, I think, a Mumu,
Sona.
And
nice
Mumu,
condemn
Galio.
from Riboflavin. He is very tanky. Does tank the turret aggro. We're going to see a lot of damage going on with Shift from that. However, Viktor is now here, going to turn this gank around. Certainly a double kill for Purple. One kill going to Viktor, the other kill going to Mundo, and it looks like even a triple able to be picked up on that Q. Could have been a triple for Viktor. Would have been very nice. That Rise would be in a world of pain if he was going against a 4-1 Viktor. Of course, you do get a little bit less gold off of those assists. However, 5.9k gold on Viktor right now to the 3.8k, so that is a 2k gold lead. Already going to be very scary.
And let's look at where these teams kind of stand objectively currently. Even though Blue leads in kills, they're behind a good 1.5 thousand gold, and that's just because a lot of it has to do with Rumble just sitting up top messing up this Udyr. Olaf.
Yep.
But Viktor is farming really, really well.
Yep. That's sort of one of his advantages. He has such a consistent wave clear. You can just cast E in a line down the wave and get all of them. So, that is one of the weaknesses of Rise. Getting out pushed and having this Viktor go roam and pick up 3 kills and 3 assists down bot. Meanwhile, you are 0-3-0. That Viktor is just so strong right now. It looks like he's going to go straight for the death cap, and then probably with this death augment, you generally see them pick the Rylize, and then followed by often either an Abyssal or a Void Staff. Probably going to want to pick up a Void Staff because this Rise is going to have 120 MR or so in a couple minutes when he picks up that BB. Because he does have the Merc Treads as well as a Catalyst built into that BB. I think one of the boring things about Rise, I think really the reason I don't want to play him is that there are no build options for him. He's always going to do the same thing.
There is an optimal build, and we all know what it is.
Yeah, you get the tier. Really, the only decision you want to make is: am I going to get bursted down full to 0? Should I get the Catalyst before the tier?
I love this decision from
by the
Blue
way,
Team. They've
look at this though. Mundo's just going to get dominated by the ulti. However, Shyvana also going down. Both junglers now down for both teams. We do see Rumble able to put down a lot of damage on a Viktor. And Rumble
Thanks, what are you
forced
doing?
to flash away. Shield, I think, from Rumble, maybe going to save his life. And I think maybe maybe this Viktor shouldn't back off. They know the dragon is up, so Rise actually up top. Not the best decision from Sinister. I think having him in that team fight would maybe turn things around. They do put a pink ward down in this brush. This time it looks like they've learned their lesson. They're going to pull the camp out. However, Sinister just not in a position to really help their team defend this dragon. A nice buckshot going out from Megs, trying to put some harass down. However, he really wants to be hitting it on these three back here who are lower on health. We did hear Nunu consume that dragon to kind of secure it, dealing 400 true damage, so it's sort of like a mini smite right now. And of course, this legendary Nunu skin says, "Oh, yummy," in a robotic voice. I love that skin. In terms of every skin in the game, especially the legendary skins, the Nunu bot is the best in my opinion. It shows Riot's kind of commitment to the community, which I really like, and then they did this hilarious dialogue. It is, of course, based off the YouTube series. The legendary Nunu bot by Angry Goran got a couple 100,000 views on YouTube. Pretty much, this guy wanted to have like a 3v3 on Twisted Tree Lines with his friends. I think, and said that he could beat them with bots. That's kind of the backstory. I think that's it. So he was playing.
It turned into so much more.
It turned into so much more, and it was just so funny. He did this voiceover of what goes through a bot's head. This is back, of course, very early on in League of Legends, around 2010, kind of like the first year of its release, when the bots were just incredibly terrible, and they would do stuff like turret dive at level 1, and then randomly just like turn around, randomly go, and it was just hilarious to watch. So this Nunu bot skin is based on that.
Good flash on that Rise, but they're still diving him.
Oh wow, thank you for that, yeah. It looks like Olaf popping the ult is going to be able to pick up a kill on Rise. Rise doesn't really have a lot of burst damage, is one of his weaknesses.
Rumble looking to pick up this Olaf,
Oh
though.
yeah, and this could certainly be a kill because Rumble does have his ulti up. That's the red carpet I'm talking about. Not actually going to deal as much damage as I was expecting. However, that Flame Spitter does deal a ton of damage.
Maybe early Moth?
I think that because he has a longsword, it's going to be a frozen mallet.
Oh, okay.
For Olaf.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
And then likely going to be an Aegis picked up by this Mundo here with that null magic and a cloth armor. I don't like this build. I had a solo queue game the other day with I play Ezreal. He's a moderator on the League subreddit.
What did he play?
He played Janna and I played Anivia. We had a great game, but we had a Mundo who did a similar sort of build. Instead of a Wit's End, he had Spirit Massage, and it was just like all these weak items. And it was like 30 minutes into the game, and it didn't have a single big ticket item yet. And it's just like, don't build Heart of Gold, Aegis, and like a small amount of MR. Mundo benefits so well from just stacking up like a Warmog's armor in these first 20 minutes of the game. He clears camps so fast; it's not hard for him. He's one of the best junglers to get a Warmog's on. We do see a lot of damage going down onto Graves. So Viktor is around. Able to tag Megs with that E a second time. Might want to go and commit with his ulti. However, gonna be caught by Shyvana. Has to flash out. And very, very good burst damage. I think for Rumble there, able to pick up the kill before Viktor even gets the ulti off. A little bit of misplay there. Ooh, and it looks like Legend Bok Choy is gonna go in. Totally knows the strengths of that Rumble. He is very fed. He has that Rylai's. It is very difficult for people to get away from him once he puts down that ulti. Rise is going to be forced to try and hold top turret against Mundo and Olaf. We saw how well it worked for him last time, aka it didn't. The cleaver connects, the undertow connects, and it looks like Mundo is going to pop his ulti. Another cleaver going out. This is going to be Sinister, just not having a lot of luck. I think we mentioned that he's 8-0 right now in these games. Vayne, by the way, escaping with very, very low health. He is 8-0 apparently in these in-house games. This could be the first game we see him lose. 25 minutes of the game now, a 3k gold advantage for Purple Team. That Rumble just such a dominant force. The Viktor did make a little bit of a misplay down bot here by face checking that Shyvana. And the exhaust went down.
He wasn't 8-0. He lost the last game, didn't he?
Nope. He made Wait.
I'm pretty sure they started the
comeback.
comeback.
Right. They started the comeback and they lost it. Yeah, so he is 7-1, but still a very impressive, kind of win rate. And I mean, this is I think the first game where we haven't really seen him be so dominant. Rise, I'm not sure if that really fits with his playstyle, because you know it's not really pushing based. You can't really roam. I personally not a big fan of Rise because he plays like molasses, right? And I don't think anyone's going to disagree that he is a top pick because of his tankiness and his very high sustained damage.
Mundo
getting a little bit caught out, and just so much damage coming down from this Rumble with that Will of the Ancients, and Ryla's not completed. However, a very nice job from iGod X Warlog, able to pick up a slow, sorry,
a lot of position, ends up having to pop his ult just to get away from Rise.
Yep. The name of that is Gravity Field by Viktor. Of course, a very good delayed sort of CC. A 1.5 second stun, however, one of the longer non-ulti stuns in the game, especially considering it's an AoE. We do see Alistar.
I think it's straight right up until the Yi walks straight through it and just murders you.
Yeah, that is very true. Thankfully, no Master E's in this game. We do see Alistar has picked up this Oracles. Is going to maybe try and clear the wards, although wisely backs off, thinking maybe there is an entire enemy team just out of field of view for him who are taking, you know, positions to try and burst him down. I think Nunu has to be careful not to get too cocky right now because he isn't as tanky as maybe like a Bruiser Nunu. Viktor probably going to be able to one-shot him if he lands a full combo. You do see a little bit of action going down here. Someone's going low. We just heard a beep. Was that? I think it was probably Graves. Oh, because
I think it was Mundo.
No, Vayne did pop her final hour, so I think just that was the spectator mode, letting us know the slow goes down. But a nice condemn able. Oh, and there is the ulti. Heal is forced to be popped, but that is certainly going to be a dead Vayne. And we also see Mundo getting caught. There's the Nunu ulti. It does get cancelled by Alistar very nicely, and this is what I was talking about. Nunu just very, very, very squishy. Legend Boktroy once again proving that he just does not seem to want to lose top lane. A couple matchups I want to see. I want to see him go against Shreve, who is another of those Redditors we see very rarely take that kind of...
have you seen him against George yet?
No. I love George very much. I think that it does look like Legend of Boktroy is a little more experienced. We do see tons of damage going down both onto Viktor and Shyvana. Alistar does drop down to Mundo. Rumble just sniping that ulti range is so long. You can kind of, you know, it has that circle. You can click the circle and then drag it away for even more range, and it is like the range of a Lux laser. It's pretty crazy. So Legend of Boktroy now with 1.6k gold in his inventory. Might go for Johnny's, however, he's so far ahead he might just go straight for Death Cap. But either way, probably going to go back and pick up that needlessly large rod to give him 80 ability power on top of the 215 he's already got. That is going to be like a 40% increase in the amount of damage he's able to do. Does in fact pick up that needlessly large rod, taking him to 300 AP. If you want to compare that to the Viktor, who's sitting at only 435, of course Rumble does also have all that utility from Rylai's, which Viktor has not been able to complete. Plus he has the Will of the Ancients. So I think Viktor does have a level advantage right now. However, I think the only real reason that Rumble isn't like, you know, level 18 right now is that he has fallen very far behind in CS. Only 118 at the 28-minute. However, 28-minute mark. However, that was able to pick up, you know, dragons and kills and roam and all that good stuff. And there's yet another assist for him. And he does have his ulti up. So I don't think NS look at the damage.
Flash.
Forcing the flash. Also flashing, and that is gonna be the kill. Meg's going.
Just ult. She would have been able to get out, I think.
Yeah, maybe. An ulti and a tumble. We do see... Yeah, right now I think that that he can easily 1v1 this Viktor. That Flame Spitter does such a strong duelist spell. When you have that spell, bam, is going to heal you for every point of damage you do with abilities, whether it's physical or magical, by the way. Spell Vamp deals damage on every ability you have, as long as it does not apply on-hit effects. So I don't actually think we have any champions in this game with on-hit effects. Oh, of course, Shyvana with her Twin Bite. So an example of that is that Shyvana, her Q spell will kind of deal two on-hit effects, and that pretty much just means it's a spell that works like an auto attack. So Wriggle's Lantern, Wit's End. Both of these spells are said to deal on-hit effects. The on-hit effect for Wriggle's Lantern being extra damage to minions. The on-hit effect from Wit's End being a little bit of bonus MR when you use it. Viktor trying his best to defend this turret 4v1. I think doesn't want to get too close as Alistair, Rumble, and Shyvana just
I think
so
this
tanky.
one of the real downsides of playing Viktor is just the fact that if you go for that early augment on his E, you end up missing out on a lot of utility later on. And even though it provides fairly good damage for the cost, over the game, like the gravity field augment's very strong. I'm a big fan of the power transfer augment just because the extra move speed allows you to position really, really well. You can turn yourself into kind of a lane monster if you get the augment on your Q. So.
Yeah. I know that Viktor's, in terms of the damage he deals, the augment on death is the strongest one available for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think right now it's probably good that Viktor's picking up damage as I think they really need that burst. And he's done a great job of, shutting down some of the other champs. Looks like, oh, and by the way, it also makes it a lot easier to farm. He can just one-shot waves with that augment. So I do think it is the best. Of course, you do lose utility. He does get some of that utility back with a Rylo's Crystal Scepter, which he looks like he's going to go and try and pick up. Sinister Ring getting a little out of position here. This is a 4v1. Is going to flash over that wall safely, and Purple Team has to be careful not to get baited. A very big Rumble ult. Not quite able to pick up Nunu. He runs back on top of it, and he just almost goes down. That would have been very embarrassing if Nunu had walked the red carpet to his death. However, that Rumble ult just dealing so much damage to Nunu. And yeah, I think that Purple Team did actually waste a lot on Rise. He is, of course, so tanky. 130 armor, 123 MR. Looks like he's going to be going for a Frozen Heart, which is going to make him even more durable and really reduce the attack speed of Mundo and Vayne and even Olaf, as long as he doesn't have his ulti going. That ulti is 100% impossible to deal any debuffs to. If you put an exhaust down on Olaf ultis, absolutely nothing is ever going to debuff him in any way. So, yeah. I think even if you ignite him when he's ulti, you won't even have the healing debuff. That's how strong it is. Olaf also, by the way, feeling a little confident to pick up an Oracle is probably the right choice. He does have that Ghost, and he does have Ragnarok, which is going to get him out of a sticky situation. However, I don't know. In a team fight, Blue Team has a lot of damage threats, which Purple really doesn't. I personally think that Mundo is a little bit overrated. He's obviously very, very strong in a sort of snowbally way, very tanky in a snowbally way, but how many times have you seen a Mundo pop that ulti and just die?
I feel like a lot of what Mundo brings to the table is he's like Shyvana in the fact that he has that really quick clear time, but he has a lot. His ganks are a lot stronger. So unlike Shyvana, who can become such a nightmare to deal with her.
By the way, it looks like we might see a little bit of a team fight here. Nunu putting a ward down, Shyvana going in. Alistair gets a nice headbutt combo off, and just so much damage going on to Viktor. Doesn't even get his ulti off. That Rumble just dealing too much damage. The Nunu pops an ulti and gets a full channel off on Graves, but it's not going to be enough. Forced to pop the Shurelya's forever. He's sort of a late Shurelya's. That is a 5-for-4 exchange. Dane's just going to be in the safety of this brush. You might as well say, you know what, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to pop my ulti, and I'm going to see if any of them are low in health, because I think that was really Legend of Bokchoi's only real time that he's possibly going to die. Might be able to go down to just like 2 or 3 shots from his Vayne. I think the game is pretty much going to go in favor of Blue. Although, actually, before that team fight, things were a lot more even than I thought. After Baron, only a 4k gold advantage 33 minutes in the game. Like I said, I think a lot of that is just because the CS Viktor's been able to pick up. 224 is really keeping him in the game. However, this is why I don't like Mundo or Olaf. Very, very, like, seemingly strong picks. However, their lack of CC.
I want to talk about Olaf here because what has happened to Olaf is kind of why this game is looking so dominant for Blue right now.
Oh, and a flash Q, by the way, from Alistair, but not able to connect with the main.
So just the fact that Rumble had been so dominant in top lane kind of shut Olaf down pretty hard, and they really need Olaf in order to start those fights and just be a terror to Graves or be able to shut down one person fairly early on, make him run away. And Olaf can't do that in his current state because he has very little farm. He's died 5 times. He only has 1 kill, and he's been taken out of the game by this lane dominant Rumble, who after that took that lane dominance. He hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
He is 10, 0, and 8.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
it is nuts.
By the way, purple team is
Definitely.
going to pick up a 3 dragon.
Yeah,
And
I've been
actually,
mentally kind of compiling my like Reddit dream team after seeing this game, and I think Legend of Bok Choy just made it on.
well, what about Shreve?
Well, Legend of Bok
Ooh.
Choy right
A
now,
bit of drama
man.
coming out. Yeah, no, it is nice to see Legend of Bok Choy. A lot of the solo tops in these in-houses don't really roam, and
Mhm.
Legend of Bok Choy very very far behind on CS. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing because he roamed, he picked up turrets, picked up kills for his team, and really gave them that lead. And this is sort of how a solo top can snowball the game. They deal a lot of damage, but they're just so tanky and hard to kill. It's really what you need to kind of help your team get a bit of an advantage. In if a lane is struggling mid or bot, forcing a dragon fight with a very BP solo top, maybe the thing that you need. Viktor gonna get caught out. Doesn't have his flash up. That is gonna be a kill, and that could even be a push to win here. It is a 4v5, but anyway, really the
Super
reason I
Cat's
don't
just
like Mundo, if you look at the, people think that Mundo is stronger than Shyvana. However, look at the way Shyvana is able to initiate a team fight just by ulting on top of people. Mundo can't do that. He really can't.
I wouldn't.
And you see it with
don't think
CLG's
that
picks, by the way, in tournaments, is that they really don't have a way to initiate fights, and Mundo cannot initiate a fight. Look at the way Shyvana just jumps onto Vayne, and look at how Mundo's just kind of standing there like an idiot with his ult running. It's not really an initiation. It snowballs very nicely, but it is not an initiation, and that is going to be
really snowball a lane or two. Then he hasn't really fulfilled his role. He's a faster jungler with very decent ganks.
Yeah, but I think if Mundo falls behind, and this Mundo was like 5-2 or something this game, so it's not like he was behind. It's just that really in team fights, I don't think that he is as strong of a pick as Shyvana. By the way, a very bad play there from Purple. They tried to defend the inhibitor 4v5 and instead lost 3 people. The ulti from Viktor gonna go down on a Sinister Ring, the Nunu, and that is gonna be a kill for Viktor. However, it is not gonna be enough to end the game. Rumble just really snowballing this in favor of blue team here, and that is GG WP coming out
Great
from
game.
both
Great
teams.
game.
Very even, I think, up until around the time where Rumble just got so out of control with that roaming, and then it was just a long snowball. Viktor able to keep them in the game with his immense amount of farm, that farm advantage he had. However, not quite enough to get that 10-0-11 Rumble out of the picture. I don't know. I really think that this is just the fault of Purple Team's team comp. When you pick Nunu as a support, you're saying, hey, no CC here, guys. Might want to get sort of an initiator of a jungler or an initiator of a solo top. And look at what CC Purple Team had that game. Hard CC, disables. They had the Vayne knockback and a situational stun on Viktor. Had they maybe switched out the Olaf or the Mundo for a let's see, a Galio, I don't know, a good initiator, pretty much what I'm trying to say. Someone like a Sejuani and a Mumu, a Galio, who knows? Then what they might have been able to do differently is say, we are going to engage because our Viktor is able to put down about 1,500 damage with his ulti alone, and we just need a way to get him, get the enemy team kind of CC'd and grouped in one area. He's going to throw down his gravity field, his W, and then follow it up with an ulti. So really not the best team comp. If you're going to run Nunu support and Vayne bot, you kind of need AoE CC because neither of them have that. So yeah, I don't know. That game did, of course, snowball because of Rumble. However, a good way to stop snowballs is a lot of hard CC, whether it's single target or multi-target. Something like, we've seen a lot of Ashe being played, and that Ashe arrow can really help a team that is behind kind of get back on top just by getting a couple picks here and there.
I felt like blue team, or sorry, purple Team Renaissance had a very strong early comp. If they and if they had managed to take out 2 lanes, they were going to have a really good shot going to the mid game. But as the game went further along, Shyvana was going to become too much of a monster. Ryze was going to get too tanky, and Rumble did what Rumble did. So that was kind of the progression of the game in my mind, at least.
Yep.
So
So yeah, I
there
think we're
is a
gonna
game, five
go.
teams. All right,
Yep.
you're
Yeah, 5v5.
let's finish this one out.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so we are going to move on along to the next game. I think that we pretty much done all the analysis necessary on this game. I would like to also point out that Warmogs was built very late by Mundo. Not the best idea. And just once again, for the people watching, these VODs will be posted at youtube.com/milkcast. I am no longer accepting friend requests because my friends list is full. But if you would like to get in on these in-houses either as a solo player, this was a 5v5 game and we love to see teams battle it out. We will be starting a tournament shortly, which is going to kind of, put the teams against each other and keep track of who wins and all that. Not quite yet. So for now, if you want to get in on these casted games, go ahead and go to the Reddit in-house channel. Alternatively, join the Milkcast IRC channel. That's hash Milkcast on QuakeNet, and then try and find me there. I think if you do have a fives team, go ahead and add Kaiser Wilhelm on the NA server, and he will take your team's details. And that is generally how we're organizing these 5v5s. However, I'm going to go ahead and say very well played by both teams, GGWP, and I will see you guys later.